Okay, hi everyone. A very good evening to all of you. And first of all, so I would like to say that today we are going to have our first lecture, and it's a first live class which we are going to start from today onwards. And it is going to be held tomorrow also and day after tomorrow also. So in this way, we are going to solve 3 previous year papers which were held in 2023, right? So very first, I would say that Sunil, yes, we are going to cover the previous year questions and everything, and the concepts of English will be discussed. Obviously, the concepts will be discussed in regular classes also. But first 3 days, let's check out like what kind of questions have been given in your papers. What are the most important topics and how we need to crack those topics? I will be discussing out with all of you. And then I have is so RCF related to its intelligence, RCFL lectures and HPCL lectures, they are grouped together. So it will be a combined one. And good evening, Abhishek, good evening, Satyam, and good evening, Grela. Okay. So very first thing, be there till the last of lecture. We are going to solve some of the most important questions. I'll be discussing some of the strategies also. And it's going to be the first class and I'm going to discuss about mechanical engineering. So everyone is ready to learn mechanical engineering with me? All of you? Let's start with mechanical engineering. How many of you are excited that yes, we will be able to solve the questions? Not mechanical engineering, obviously. We are going to solve the English part of mechanical engineering. And here, 17 questions will be there. RCs will be there, vocabulary will be there, all the important topics will be there. And I have already given the analysis also. By analysis, I mean is like I checked the previous year papers. What are the most important topics? So average jumbled sentences is a favorite topic of HPCL. I tell you, like every year, they try to have three to four questions of jumbled sentences. This time, it was an average of 2 marks. You can get is an option of rearrangement of sentences. Very, very important topic. Please stay tuned with that topic. Then is sentence completion. Sentence completion is the most major part of your HPCL, right? So sentence completion jumbled, a kind of topics which are quite common and prominent ones. This will be a 4 marks, and these are based on your preposition, tenses, and some generic verb or adjective based. RCs, it measures like in one paper, the RC has come for 7 marks, in one for 5 marks, and in one for 4 marks 7. So the distribution I have taken an average of 5 marks in the RC, and then vocabulary. Vocabulary is divided into 3 levels. One is your one word substitution, idiom and phrases, and yes, about your synonym and antonyms also. So everything we are going to discuss today, all these important topics. Also, I'm going to give you a quick strategy by the last, how we will be cracking out the exam of HPCL. It's very easy, but there needs to be a regular practice of the questions which I'm going to discuss. Let's start with the very first question. Whenever I'm going to start with any question, we will be studying the statement. We'll be studying all the 4 options we will be divided into. Plus, we are going to study about the spellings also. So I tell you in one question, different strategies we are going to opt for it. Okay, so let's start. Now the question is, choose the word that can substitute. So substitute, it is based on vocabulary and it is one word substitution. Okay, so it is one word substitution based question. And the question is, opinion or doctrine, like it is a kind of opinion or a kind of belief, like something, some opinion you have, some idea you have, or some belief you have, which is at variance. Variance means that varies, that does not match. It varies, it does not match. Okay, with the orthodox or accepted doctrine, that is with something that is accepted, with something that is quite conventional. Before we study this terminology, I tell you, with this we are going to learn numerous words today of vocabulary also. Very first thing, can anyone tell me the difference between conventional and unconventional? Very first question. Before this question, let's talk about what is orthodox. Is it conventional approach or unconventional approach? Tell me this thing. Conventional or unconventional? Anyone? Tell me fast about the answers which we are going to today. Conventional is equal to conventional. Okay, so conventional is something, if the ones who are not aware, what is the meaning of conventional? Conventional is something which has been accepted since long time. Okay, so something that is accepted since long time, that is termed as conventional. Very narrow approach, which does not, like your grandparents have some kind of a thinking and they're very rigid about. They do not want to change it. That is termed as conventional approach. Second question for based on conventional. Is it left wing? Is it right wing? Learn the terminologies, vocabulary based on it. Is it left wing? Is it right wing? Anyone who learns this meaning also very important in RCs. In RCs, there is a word which mentions left wing approach, right wing approach. Which one is that? Left or right? Anyone? Orthodox is conventional, good one. That is something that is generally accepted. And we have to figure out something that is not accepted. But before this, anyone who can tell me what is the difference between left wing and right wing? And does this fall in your conventional approach or unconventional? Anyone? Think about it. Left wing approach, right wing approach. Kiss mein aati hai? In newspapers, recent and you can say elections, some kind of a thought process, you have this kind of meaning with you. No one knows? So see, here it will be like to explain you out. It's very easy. Right wing is a kind of approach which is very much static. We are not ready to change. I'll give you an example. Left wing, all the people like Bhagat Singh and all that, they were considered with the mindset of left wing, like something they wanted to bring some kind of a revolution. Right wing is something that is into authoritarian. That is termed as right wing. So remember, with one terminology, we learned lots of words. First, we learned is orthodox, something that is conventional. Unconventional, that is something that is ready to change, ready to flexible. Second, we learned about the terminology that is left wing, right wing. Left wing is the wing which is trying to bring some kind of a change, revolutionary one, like Bhagat Singh. Right wing is which is a commanding one, authoritarian one. That is the right wing. Clear with these meanings? With every question, there are number of meanings that is attached, and that is the main purpose of solving these questions. As many things we can practice. Now, coming again to the question, it is you are to choose a word, one word substitution, where you have to check the variation towards orthodox, something that is not accepted. What is it? Is it tannet? Is it plinth? It's bourgeois? It's heresy? Anyone who can tell me the answer? Little tougher in the meaning. What is there? I'll help you out it. That is, tenet is some kind of a belief, some kind of a principle that is normally accepted, right? That is normally accepted. That is termed as tenet. Second is your this plinth. Plinth is some kind of an architectural structure is there, and the lower part of the architectural structure. That is the plinth. Bourgeois, you remember, we used to study Marxism. In the Marxism, we used to study the proletarian class and the bourgeois class. So that is the class which is working. That is the richer class, the middle working class. That is termed as bourgeois. And the last was your heresy. Heresy is something that you call it out as blasphemy. That is belief that is trying to bring some kind of a change. That is getting some kind of, you can say, different statements. That is termed as blasphemy. Now tell me what will be the meaning. If they were not asking variation, the answer would be this one. Now they're asking for variation. What will be the answer? Go ahead, guys. Try to solve it out. I already gave you the meanings of the question. Tannet is some kind of a belief that is already accepted. Plinth is lower part of the architectural structure. Heresy is the blasphemy, the kind of, you can say, the belief, the change in belief which you try to become or to try to welcome. Bourgeois is the rich working class, that is a bourgeois. Very good, C option. And if it was variation was not mentioned, then it would be your A option, and A option was your tenet one. So I hope the first question is clear. Second question is quite easy to figure it out. It is based on an idiom, and let's read the question now. You have to select the most important, you can say, the most appropriate idiom. The word which is underlined is difficult person to deal with. You are something difficult person to deal with. Before solving this question, let me ask you some good idioms now. Can anyone tell me in English what does green color signify? If I have to tell you about green color in English, greenhorn, what does it signify? Anyone? Green color. Don't talk about the question. We have to learn more than the question right now. What does the color green signify in English? Very good. It's a fresher. Ishika mentioned. What does the black color signify? Black horse, black sheep. Anyone who could mention? Black horse, black sheep. Now, black color signifies. Anyone? It is greenhorn is someone who is immature, someone who is fresher, someone who is naive, someone who is novice, who is immature person. That is greenhorn. Now we talk about black horse. What is black horse? We have done it already, many of the students. Anyone who could mention? What is black horse? Black horse क्या होता था? Not inexperienced. Inexperienced is Vishaldeep, which is greenhorn. Black horse. क्या होता था black horse? अच्छा, black sheep क्या होता है? Sheep is something that you always see in white color or something. If it is black, it is signifying something negative. What does it mean now? See, if I ask you it's a black horse, it's a kind of unexpected winner. I would say Chupa Rustam type of person, right? And yeah, Nikhil is right in the term of black sheep is a kind of traitor, dhokha dene wala. That is termed as your black sheep. So black sheep is a kind of a traitor and black horse is a kind of unexpected winner. Very good, Haman. So it's an unexpected winner. Now coming to one more thing. What does yellow press signifies? What does yellow color signify? We have learned it with the name. What does yellow color signify? I've given you the name of Urfi Jawad, Rakhi Sawant, any of those characters that could be helped or memorized with yellow press. What does it mean? Very easy. Controversy, very good. The media which spreads controversy, that is written to yellow color, and that is which you get a name of. You can say Urfi Jawad, Rakhi Sawant, any of your favorite character that you can choose it out, right? Okay, what is the notion with virus? Virus in Three Idiots. What is the answer of it? Virus with both the hands working. Virus in Three Idiots is used to write with both the hands. What does that signify? That's not harmful. Virus is a character in Three Idiots and it is used to write with both the hands. What does that thing signify to you? What does the person mean who can write with both the hands? Careful, smart. No, that's the right word is there. If you remember Virus from Three Idiots, he is ambidextrous. Ambidextrous, a person who can write with both the hands, right? No, it's not irritating. It's always a person who can write with both the hands is someone who is very intelligent, very smart. And we use the right word, that is ambidextrous. So whenever Three Idiots remember, Virus remember, that is your ambidextrous. Easy one. Okay. Now coming back to the question, it is like, I tried my best to get along with her. I tried my best that, yeah, I should get along with her. I should be moving with her. But I guess she's a difficult person to deal with. Difficult means something negative we used to have some answer here over here. So it's a piece of cake, it's a wild goose to chase, all ears or hard nut to crack. You are getting 4 options. Tell me which answer you feel like. It's the right one. D, very good. 2 answers are there. What else? D. Everyone is with D. Good. What are the other options? A piece of cake. A piece of cake means very easy work. If you say like there is something, clearing the examination was a kind of piece of cake for him because he did not did much efforts. Something that is very easy, you get with a very easy, with little efforts, that is termed as piece of cake. A wild goose chase is like you're chasing for something that is not even available, that you cannot even, you can say, pinch it out or you cannot even achieve anyway. Something that is impossible, that is termed as a wild goose chase. Then you have all ears. All ears is like if you say to someone, oh, I have all your ears, all ears towards you. That is, I'm listening to you very carefully. That is all ears. And the last is a hard nut to crack. Someone who is very difficult to understand, someone who is very difficult to deal with, that is termed as a hard nut. So someone who is difficult to deal with is a hard nut. So good one. D is the right answer. Now go for this one now. Select the most appropriate idiom for the underlined phrase. That watch was very expensive when I bought it. You have four options: cost an arm and a leg, under the weather, in a nutshell, under the rose. Choose it now. What can be the right answer over here? That watch was very expensive. Very expensive mean, I tell you, like whenever there is under the weather, under the cloud, something like this. Under the cloud, under the weather always means that you are always in a trouble. Kabhi bhi barish ho sakti, it can rain anytime. That is, it is a negative one. That means it can be raining anytime. It's not appropriate one, right? In a nutshell, we used to say it, in a nutshell, I want to say this. That is in the terms of conclusion. While concluding, in wrapping up something, we use a nutshell. Both the terms are eliminated. We're left with two things. Everyone answered this. But let us know the meaning of under the rose also. What does under the rose signify? That is something that is done secretly. Something that is done privately. That is termed as under the rose. So under the rose is, with the rose you demarcate, with the things that are done secretly, that are done privately. Even you have a terminology, an idiom, that is hole and corner policy. Anyone who remembers this thing? What is the meaning of this policy? Hole and corner policy. Anyone who remembers this one? We have done it in our classes also. What is the meaning of hole and corner policy? Is it a positive answer? It's a negative answer. What does it mean? Anyone? Hole and corner policy. No, it's a different one. What does it mean? Hole and corner policy का मतलब क्या होता है? Negative होता है. कभी भी any policy which is made, it is made on a corner. That is obviously it has some evil purpose, something that is not good one. So that is, it has a negative answer, and that is something that is done secretly but with the evil intention. Intention is evil. That is hole and corner policy. All you need to understand is try to generate some kind of an answer. कॉर्नर पे पॉलिसी बन रही है मतलब नेगेटिव ही होगी, तो नेगेटिव होगी मतलब लोगों से छुप के बन रही है, लोगों से छुप के उनके बेनिफिट के लिए नहीं बनेगी, दैट विल बी ऑलवेज फॉर द डिसएडवांटेज. सो हियर इट इज कॉस्ट एन आर्म एंड अ लेग. दैट इज समथिंग दैट इज वेरी वेरी एक्सपेंसिव. गुड वन गाइस. ओके, आई वांट दिस वन टू बी करेक्ट नाउ. This is something you have to make it as a paragraph. So it is about rearranging of sentences. Okay. You have four options, and then I will help you like what is the easiest way, and I would say which requires a minimum time to solve this question. Batao. We have four options: P, Q, R, and S. P states whenever you are dealing with the jumbled sentences, cells believe that on the night before the new year. Now they believed that on the night before the new year, the boundary between the worlds of living and the dead became blurred. Okay, so they're talking about something that there is a night before the new year and the boundary between the worlds of living and dead became blurred. Okay. Halloween's origin date back to the ancient Celtic festival. Now they're talking about the Halloween's origin. When it was originated, it was during this thing. Then the third is the cells who lived 2000 years ago, mostly in the area that is now Ireland, the United Kingdoms, and the northern France, celebrated their new year on November 1. So they are telling out that the cells celebrated their new year on November 1. Then the fourth statement is this day marked the end of summer and harvest and beginning of the dark, cold winter, a tune of the year, and that was often associated with human death. Now you have to choose an answer. I tell you a very easy hack to do jumbled sentences. You don't require much of the time, much of, you can say, the minutest way is to do it out is, you understand here it was this day. This statement is starting with this day. Which day? Day पे पहले किसने बात की है? This one, this one, this one. Day पे हमने सिर्फ we have talked about the number 1. That means this need to be matched. Nothing else, you have to see it out. Is there any option which has R and S together? Any option where R and S are together? R and S. No, it is S and R. Cross. R and S. This is there. Okay, R and S. This is there. And R and S. This is there. So one option get eliminated through this, because we get to know that here we are mentioning about these two things are clear with us. Now we have to generate a kind of a hint what comes before R and S. Okay, so you have to think about it. Here we are talking about human death. Okay, so it is about human death. So you will be thinking death के बाद और कौन सा sentence था? Death से linked, this one is a sentence that on the night before the new year the boundary between the worlds and the living have become dead, or it is Halloween's origin. So obviously it will be, we are talking about noun. Noun, we need to identify. Noun is always there in this sector. Okay, Q is having a noun. So it will be, first it will be Q only. At the start it is Q, then it is R and S, and then it is P. C is the right option. How many of you have done C as a right one? C is the right option. I tell you the hints which you need to identify. Jumbled sentences are mostly done wrong by the students. Very first thing you need to identify is the noun. Noun over here is cells and the Halloween. These two are the nouns which are coming. Okay. Now they're saying is Halloween's origin or cells believed. Believed what? We are not sure. We cannot start with anything that is believed. The cells who lived 2000 years ago mostly live in the area. We cannot have R, S, P and Q. That is not linked, because very first we need a noun and it starts with C option. It is Q, R, S and P. All of you answered wrong. Jumble is a very important part. There comes sometime a tricky one. Think carefully before you solve such questions. It's very, very important. Go for the next one now. Again, a jumbled one. This one is easier to do. Do it nicely now. I'll read again for you. Same way, you have to link it out. It is standing high. It is a farmer had collected one stony, about the size of this. Now, first think about the answers and then I'll help you to solve it out. Think about the answer first. What can be in this thing? It is standing high, a tanner's home in China's Henan province in the summer of 201s. Paleontologist Fang Luhan and this peered down at a box of rounded lumps of rock. The farmer had collected the trove near his home in Nexiang country, which is renowned for its dinosaur egg. One stony orb, high particular, caught the scientist's eyes. About the size and shape of billiard ball, the fossil was unlike any dinosaur egg they had seen before. It's very easy. Anyone who can decode it out before I help you out? Anyone? Go ahead, guys. It's very easy. I want an answer. What can be the answer? Write down the answer over here also. Like, what do you feel? Which will be the first one? It will be, okay, everyone is answering. A, B, good one, guys. Very nice. I think Ayush is all right. Gaurav is right. Abhishek, wrong. Dhruv is wrong. Now see, what is it here? First you have is the answer is PQRS. Why I answered PQRS? Understand it out. Standing high at Anna's home in China home. Here, first we need to identify noun kisme hai. Noun is there over this one. These are the names of a noun. Noun is not there. In a particular, like heavy words where our names are denoted, that is there in the first one. Then they are talking about some kind of a box. Then they told that the box was collected by the farmer, which is denoted with the eggs. Now, one of the eggs caught the size, like it caught the scientist's eyes. And about the size, it was linked. So every answer is linked, that it starts with the noun and then you have to identify the linkage. Okay. So very first will be noun portion. Noun is there in these heavy names. Fangula Han, Hashni Jung, standing high. So very first in jumbled sentences to found a noun. and last is about what thing they are linked about. That is the way it goes on. Everyone is doing wrong the jumbled sentences. Try to do it rightly. Go for the sixth one now. It is also based on vocabulary and it is synonym based on similar meanings. The question is a Russell area. Russell, what is Russell area? That has refreshing lack of billboards. Billboards are the long boards, white boards which have meant for advertisements. These are the billboards. And shopping malls. Reminds me of my hometown. Like area which lacks all these advertisement box, all these shopping malls. What kind of an area that will be? Think about it. What kind of area it can be? B, D. Can it be an open area? No. Insecure. Insecure is you are thinking to save. You are not very, you are like very much protective about that thing. So insecure cannot be there. Urban is where it is a city life. And this is quantified as rural area, village area. So such things are not seen in a village area. Quantified is the right word. Good one. So many of you did B, the right one. Nice. Seventh. Go for this one. This is based on degrees of adjective and where, remember it out, which degree you have to use. This should not be wrong of anyone. No one should do it wrong. It's very easy. You have to fill it up. You are mistaken if you think that you are the dash creature in this world. You are the dash creature, the dash. I'm giving you a hint. Is it so beautiful? Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Everyone should do it right. We have already done it out. Very good. All have done it. Most beautiful. Why not some other ones? Most is the is being carried. It is a superlative degree. So that is why the most beautiful. So beautiful comes in which kind of sentences? Anyone who can tell me where do we place so beautiful? So beautiful comes in which kind of sentences? So beautiful and more beautiful. Type in the comments. Let's see who answers first. So beautiful and more beautiful is answered where? Tell me fast. Comparative. For comparative what? Nitish. So or more? So आएगा कि more आएगा? किसमें comparison होता है? When we compare, more in comparison and so in, so किसमें होता है? Where do we use so? Tell me that. Where do we use so? More is in comparison. When two people are compared, we go for more beautiful. When more than two are compared, we use most beautiful. And where do we use so beautiful? It is in positive sentences. If we say simply, Sita is so beautiful, we are talking about one girl without comparing her to anyone. We go for so beautiful. So beautiful is always there in positive sentences. More beautiful is comparative and most beautiful is your superlative. And beautiful is also, she is beautiful, that is also positive sentences. So you need to understand the differences, where we use the differences over here. Okay. Eighth one. Select the most appropriate option. We dash make poor assumption, guys. Consist, consistently, more consist, consistent. Very easy. We dash make. After that, after 10 questions, I'm going to ask you one questions. List of things we have learned till now. Some rules I'm going to ask you. B, very nice. Consist is what is grouped together. What is grouped together? We're not talking about any kind of a group. More consist. We are talking about something that is remains same with the sequence, remains same with the passage of time. So it will be consistent, and this is not there. We have to use adverb. We consistently make poor assumption. Everyone is right. Very good, guys. Eighth all correct. Go for the ninth one. Now here you have to choose the antonym, opposite. And the question is, in the quinine decade, new robotic technology could further aggravate the problem. What is the opposite of aggravate? Aggravate is something that enhances, that glorifies. बढ़ाना. तो घटाने के लिए क्या word आएगा? Aggravate is to increase. What will be the word for decrease? What will be the word for decrease, guys? provoke, irk, relieve, vex. So what can be the word? Good. Everyone is relieve. Vex is, what is the meaning of vex? Vex is to irritate someone. Okay. If I am irritating you, if I'm doing this, I vex you up. If I irk you, irk is also meaning irritating someone, make someone angry. That is irk. Provoke is also to make someone angry, to make intensify something, to increase something. So relieve is the option, right? So B is a right one. Good. Go for the next one. Now, this is very, very interesting. I know many of you are going to do it right, but anyone who can tell me the sounds of these also. Anyone who can tell me the sounds of these. Everyone knows the sound made by cats is meow. That's fine. Everyone will do it right. But let's learn about other sound. Anyone who can tell me what is the sound? Who makes the sound grunt? Grunt sound कौन करता है? Grunt. Grunt sound is made by which animal? Grunt, bell, cheep. All these are the sounds which are made by the animals. No, cow does not do grunt sound. This is, no one knows? Grunt sound. Grunt is done by camels. Camel is the one which does grunt sound. No, elephant does not grunt. Okay. Which does bell? Bell. What does this sound? No, that's not a very yeah, human in the gym. That's not grunt. Okay, that's a kind of, you can say it's different. Bell sound. Which animal does the sound of a bell? Like, this is something you need to learn because you are not aware about these sounds, and we are aware about the generic ones. What is the sound which is made by bell? Bell sound is made by which animal? There's an animal which makes the sound of a bell. Which animal it is? No one knows. Any trial, hit or trial, or anyone who knows the sound of cheep? Cheep. Something that is very found. I would say it out. What is sound which is made by chicken? Chicken कौन सी sound करता है? Chicken. Which is the sound which is made by chicken, guys? Pig थोड़ी करती है. Chicken. Chicken की sound कौन सी आती है? It's cluck. Okay. So see, there are sounds which are made by the animals. If I talk about the chicken, chicken does cluck cluck. Okay. So cluck cluck is a sound which is made by chicken. Similar way, it is, yeah, hen it is there. Then the chick, the babies, they do the sound of cheep cheep. Okay. So that is cluck is done by chicken. Cheep is done by chick. Then it is your bell. Bell is a sound which is done by the deer. This is a sound of a deer. This is a sound of a camel. Anyone who can tell me what is the sound of bull? Bull की sound कौन करता है? Bull की sound क्या होती है? Bull, it's bellow. Bellow. Okay. So these are some, like, you should be aware about the other meanings also, because sometimes such questions do come in your examination. The options can be repeated. So you have to understand the options. Grunt is by camel, cheep is by chick, bell is by deer, meow is by cats. So these are the sounds which are made by the animals. Whenever we do something, it's not about one thing. You have to study the options along with me. Now let's start with the comprehension. Okay, let's start with the comprehension. Here we are to fill up the words. But I'll say, let's fill option 1 first. This is a passage. It is a kind of a cloze test. It is a kind of cloze test, and you have to fill the very first option. The question is, storms are getting stronger elsewhere too. Now, storms are increasing. Okay. Hurricane Otis. This is a kind of a hurricane which they are telling. Hurricane Otis recently dashed the Mexican city of Acapulco. For instance, what will be the hurricane do it out? Positive words or negative? Storms are getting stronger. Storms बहुत ज्यादा हो रही हैं. Recently, this is there. अब इसका positive होगा या negative word होगा? पहले तो ये बता दो. Hurricane क्या करेगा? बढ़ाएगा कि कम करेगा? Very good. Ishika does it out. It's negative. Negative है तो you have 4 options. Manifest है, demonstrate है, cultivate है, devastated है. इसमें negative word कौन सा है? Only one is a negative word. Rest all are the positive. Very good, Shivam. It's devastated. So simply you have to surface that there will be a positive word or a negative word. You have 4 options. Manifested is like something you manifest in your life, something you want in your life, something you feel that is there. So that is to manifest. Demonstrate is to explain. Like I'm demonstrating you out. I'm trying to explain you out. That is the demonstrate. Okay. Then you have the third option, which is your, I would say it out, devastated. Devastated is to destroy everything. That is a destruction. And cultivation is the kind of, you can say, that is something cultured, something that is brought inside you, that is cultivated. So option right is devastated. Very good. Now go for the second question. Now read the second, what will be there over in the second blank. Storms are getting stronger elsewhere too. We did this line. Hurricanes recently devastated the Mexican city. Otis developed from a regular storm into a dash hurricane. Now this developed from a storm it developed into a hurricane in a record time and was the first time in history that a hurricane in the Eastern Pacific made landfall and sustained itself as the strongest category 5. Now you tell it out. जब एक स्टॉर्म हरिकेन में जारी होगी तो क्या होगा? इंक्रीज होगा. कुछ ऐसा पॉइंट देखो, दैट इज समथिंग दैट fall into it. What will be the answer? What is the option which you can feel over here? A storm. Whenever there is a hurricane, what happens is, no, it's blast is something. See, this is something you would need to understand. When there is a kind of a storm and storm meets a hurricane, what they do it, they collide together. They are colliding together. They are hitting together. And it is not masticated. Masticated is something that you will call it out as something that is eating. To munch something is masticating. Hiring something is when I hire someone. I hire someone for my job. That is hired. Blasted is like something that is blasting. Blasting, if I say you out, is used to express some kind of a annoyance, some kind of this. So it's an explosion. Okay. And hit is when it strikes together. Okay. So this is striking together. Now tell me what will be there. Yeah. And then you have to study it out for option third. Tropical cyclone Tej dash the this. Now you have to identify the terminology for here, not for this right now. For this, what it will be doing? Yeah, it's for the third one. Sorry, I read it first. Yeah. So for third, what will be there? The tropical cyclone Tej dashed the Arabian Peninsula the week before with 480 millimeter of rainfall in this. So what will be doing it out? Hit. Yeah, hit is the right word. It will be hitting it out. So here it is your hit option. Now go for the second blank. Where is the second one now? Yeah, this is the second. Now you have to choose the second one. So till now we have done is here it was devastated. Here it was hit. Now let's read it out. Storms are getting stronger elsewhere too. Hurricane Otis recently devastated city and Otis developed from a regular storm into dash hurricane. What kind of a hurricane it will be? It will be hounding, liable, huge, or timid. What kind of a hurricane it will be? Hounding is if I am hounding you, I am kind of harassing you guys. That is hounding. Liable is you are liable to me. You are to follow me. You are to ask me for anything. So it is that liable fellow. Huge is that is very expanding, like very big thing. That is huge. And timid is like someone we can say timed. It should be timid though in the examples. I would say it out as that is something that is measured with the time based. So what can be the answer? Huge is the right answer. Very good. Because it developed from a storm into a huge hurricane. So that is an answer. I think all three are correct of this thing. Good one, guys. Now, when we are solving an RC, RC is there. We will be solving an RC now. 3 questions on RC are based. Okay. Now, whenever there is a RC, what you have to do is you just have to get a generic idea. You will see it out. We'll be doing it in 1 minute. What are the questions? Let's read it out. Because birthday balloons are cheap and colorful. Very first thing we are doing about is birthday balloons. Circle it out. Children like to play and buy with them. So like it is about like birthday balloons are there and children like to play with them. Balloons were first used, now first time, they were used for scientific experiments and transportation. So now it is like we are talking about some balloons and we told that the very first usage of balloons were done by the scientists, okay, for some kind of experiments and transportation. But it was not long before it found its way into people's hands, but later it became an instrument of fun. Okay. Then it is all about us. I would say that Michael Faraday made the first rubber balloon in 1824. Now there's a person we are talking about is Michael Faraday. He made the first rubber balloon in 1824, which was for the use in his laboratory. Faraday, now for the use in his laboratory, he made a balloon. Faraday achieved this by laying 2 sheets of rubber, one on another, then put floor in the middle to prevent them joining all the way through and then seal them together at the edges. Faraday found that upon filling the balloons with hydrogen, they were able to ascend at considerable level. However, he was disappointed by the fact that hydrogen kept escaping. Now, the following year, there's another person, Thomas Hancock, a British inventor and rubber manufacturer, started selling balloon making kits. By 1847, British entrepreneurs were already selling the first balloons made of vulcanized rubber, which was tougher and was more elastic. I hope this is clear to you that here we are talking about birthday balloons. Then we are talking about this was the first person who used it in his laboratory. Then we talked about that he started with one rubber over the another. Then he tried to fill up with the gases like hydrogen and it started coming upwards. And then there was another person, Thomas Hancock. He also tried, he was a rubber manufacturer. He started selling balloon making kits. And by 1847, British entrepreneurs were selling first balloon, which was tougher and more elastic. Now try to tell me the answer. What will be there? Okay. Tell me which statement you think is not correct. Not correct. He made the first rubber balloon. He was a British inventor. He was this. So which is the right one? He made the first rubber balloon. This is not, we don't have information. He was a British inventor, right? He was a rubber manufacturer, right? He made kits from balloon, right? But it is not about, this is Thomas Hancock. Rubber manufacturer, made rubber kits, British inventor. But not the first rubber balloon was made by him. So A option. Go for the second now. What does the word meaning fill? Like what does ascend mean in this passage? What does the word ascend mean in this passage? Meaning of ascend. Dip, rise, dive, slide. Easy one, guys. Very nice. Ascend means to increase, that is to rise something, right? So dip is like inside something. Dive is kudna in the water or something, that is diving. Slide is also a kind of, you can say, movement, that is in this sense, that is a sliding one. Good one, everyone answered right. Go for this one. What can be a suitable title? Now, which title do you think fits the best for the passage? Rubber industry, balloons for fun, craze for balloon and their history, birthday and balloons. Which is the right word, guys? After the end, we are going to revise a little bit of the rules and then we are going to end the class. So one more question and we'll be revising it out thoroughly. Good. Everyone is with the C because here we are going with the balloons also and their histories also. So very nice. It is C option. Go for the last one now. Now, I want to know that how many of you just remember it out. The very first person, Michael Faraday, otherwise a Thomas, he used the first balloon where? In his child school, in his home, in his laboratory, in his neighborhood. Where did he use it out? Okay, everyone is with the D option. It is his laboratory. Very good, guys. All of you have done it out. Tomorrow it's going to be the paper which is there on electrical engineering. So we'll be covering, today we did it on mechanical, tomorrow electrical, and third will be your civil one. 3 days continuously. Now, just tell me. Uh, yeah, surely we'll do the PYQs. I'll all that tell you the strategies. Before this, tell me how many of you secured 17 out of 17? 17 में से 17 किसके आए हैं? Anyone who's secured 17 out of 17? Now I'm going to have certain doubts. In case you have any doubts, you want to ask certain questions, we'll be discussing for the last 2-3 minutes, and then we will be summing up the class. No one has any questions? Okay, now very first thing, count नहीं किए. The best thing is that you have to count it out because all the questions are covered. The most prominent which I feel is jumbled sentences. You guys don't know the hacks to do jumbled sentences, which are very important. Like first you need to identify the noun, then the verb, and then the adjective, then the object. So that is there. You don't need to refer to any book. I have already told you some of the important rules which you have to follow it out, and some of the questions practice which you have to do. So that will be there. Don't worry about it. Like, let's revise it out as brief. Can anyone tell me, there is one portion which is not over here, but we have to cover the other portions also. These were the prominent portions which are being asked in any classes. Question 6, which was a question 6 about? Okay, a Russell area. What is there in question 6? It is, there is, what is, you have to find the synonym of Russell. A Russell what area which lacks billboard? All the advertisement boards are not there. Shopping malls are not there. So area which does not have shopping malls, does not have long advertisement boxes, it can be only, you can call it out as a area which is countrified. That is the rural area, the kind of village area. So that is countrified. Urban is city life, open is open, and insecure is this. Okay. Okay, lack you did not notice. No worries. Now see, the basic thing is to strategize English. English is very easy to secure. And I say you 17 out of 17 is too easy to get in HPCL exam. No worries in it. It's an easy hack. The important parts I already told you. Last year there was one question in spotting errors, previous to previous year. This year it was not there. But we have to practice it along. The best thing which I say is start preparing some of the rules. Go through the parts of speech, all the parts of speech which are very important. Then practice the questions accordingly. Vocabulary is something that you need to do every day. You can also listen to some of the important videos, the words which I've already given, that you could do it out. And rest, it is all about practicing. Whenever it comes to English, I tell you the level comes from easy to medium. It's not going to be a difficult one. So forget about it, right? And last, any doubts of yours? Tomorrow again, we have a class, same at 5 p.m. Be there. Again, we are going to start some questions. Yeah. Jumble sentences, I'll take you a different class. I'll tell you about the hacks you need to practice. Tomorrow again, the questions on jumble sentences will be there. Let's see how much you secure. Make it a strategize how much I'm able to secure out of 17. And then just attentively check. Today I scored this much, tomorrow this, and day after tomorrow this. Right? Which question which you wanted to ask? I did not read it out. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it will be on both the levels. We are having some of the practice questions over here. These questions will be there. And on panel, obviously, the classes are there. So on the panel, the classes will remain where we will doing all the rules and everything. In basics, we'll be creating over there. But some of the questions we are doing over here also. Okay? Basics I start as with the parts of speech from nouns also. Because from noun level, let me ask you a question. If I have to give you a question, spectacles dash very costly. Is it easy? It is are. It is or are. It is a question which is based on nouns portion. Everyone is aware about nouns? I'm giving you a glimpse. Are. Why are? Why not is? Because spectacles do come up in pair. It's are. It is not is. That is what. Now on the base of noun, very easy question. Spectacles, trousers, shorts, anything which is existing in pair will be taking are with it, not is with it. Now it's a very simple rule, and that is based on the parts of speech, that is noun. This is something which I talk about is clearing the basics of question, and we have to start clearing the basics. Okay, my students who are there, can you answer me what comes with should? Should के साथ क्या आता है? I'm giving you a small table. Before we leave, you have to answer me all. What comes with should? What comes with not only? What comes with prior? What comes with prefer? I want my all the students to do it correct. What comes with although? What comes with no sooner? And what comes, the seventh last question is, what comes with what is the reason with an option with such as and such that? I asked you very simple questions. Anyone before we leave the class can answer me all these 7 things. The students who are reading it out, who want to clear the basics, this is something which I mean with the basic understanding of the questions, which is very, very important. We are already doing it in our classes. Anyone, let's see who answers all the answers first. Anyone who can answer first all these things. क्या आएगा? R is, let's sum up. What is the answer? No one knows? That's bad. See, should के साथ क्या आता है? Lest आता है. Not only के साथ क्या आता है? But also. Prior के साथ to. Prefer के साथ to. Although के साथ yet. No sooner के साth than. Such as for comparison. Such that for reason. This is something we talk about while comparing, while clearing out what are the important rules. I hope these things are clear, and this is something you need to practice and read the rules, read the parts of speech. Tomorrow again we'll be meeting at 5 p.m. Any doubts before I leave the class? Any last doubt before I leave the class? Or anyone? All clear? All the smart fellows, everything is clear to you? Do download the paper. Try to solve it on your own now. Every question has some MCQs, has some options. Try to memorize all the options also. Okay, strategy of English is, like I told you at the very start also, some important topics. What are the important topics which are being asked in the paper, right? I've given you those. We don't need to practice only those, but something else also. What I strategize my students is vocabulary every day. Be it idiom, be it one word, be it synonym, antonym. Take something, 10 words, 20 words, take it every day for yourself and read it out. Second is coming to the topics, parts of speech. First, go to the parts of speech. What is noun? What is pronoun? What is preposition? Adjective? You can say conjunctions. Every meaning you should be cleared about. Then learning about the rules, which I give it to the students. That is something you have to do. Then you have to practice the questions of jumbled vocabulary and idioms. They come more with the practice. That's the way we will be going on. And don't worry, I'll keep on explaining you every day in my classes. Okay. And some quick recaps will be taking it out. Less, but also good, Harman, but practice it out nicely at the very fast, right? And passage, you have to solve it out as if you're reading a comprehension, make short bullet notes at the very start. Like, what does it paragraph summarizes? It told about the 2 people. One was Thomas, other was this one. Then it was about the balloons. Then it was about laboratory. So it is something you have to make short glimpses of it. In this way, you actually solve an RC. That we will doing it out. Don't worry. Every portion will doing it complete detail. I'll be telling it out how to do it out. But first practice do these the previous year papers, right? So tomorrow again, we'll see you soon in the electrical class. Okay. All the best and be there at 5 p.m. Take care, guys, and goodbye. Have a good day.